Welcome to our Phase 1 video summary. In today's video, we will be showcasing our three instruments, the Aeolian guitar, the Boomophone, and a light-dependent synthesizer.
So this is one of our instrument prototypes that we're calling the Aeolian guitar. It is based off of a cross between the Aeolian harp and the modern day guitar. So essentially it'll be played similar to a guitar in that you'll be choosing the pitch by placing your fingers on different frets on the strings on the neck of the Aeolian guitar, but the noise will actually be made by wind blowing across the strings of the guitar, similarly to an Aeolian harp. And one of the benefits of this type of instrument is that if chosen, you can also play it by strumming the strings exactly like a guitar.
For our second prototype, we labeled this the Boomophone, which is basically a cross between a standard xylophone and a boomwhacker. But in this case, we use PVC pipes. This instrument will be played by striking by each of these ends with a wooden mallet that we designed. So it goes something like this. So our thought process is each pipe you strike produces a different sound, which in turn can produce a varied amount of sounds. And from what you can probably see, the major benefit of this kind of instrument is that it's pretty easy to play and it's very easy to build as well.
And our final prototype is a light-dependent synthesizer. Unlike other synthesizers where it's played by an Arduino kit or a breadboard, this synthesizer is played by using light. So when I connect these two bits of wire, you hear noise coming into the speaker. The more light that is present upon the resistor, the higher the pitch comes out of the speaker. I'm not covering the resistor, so I'm letting all the light possible go into the resistor. However, when I cover the resistor, a lower pitch occurs. The synthesizer's noise was created by cutting off the middle prong of the transistor, which creates an oscillating electricity current. A major benefit of the synthesizer is the fact that it's a very novel idea. And making it wasn't too difficult since all supplies were actually provided by the Frith Lab besides the speaker.
Moving on to the constraints and criteria, for the Aeolian guitar, we see that the string material, specifically its thickness, is a very key on constraint because of the fact that with its tuning, it's not going to be effectively played, and at the same time, it wasn't played by the wind because of how loose the strings were. With the aesthetics, it seemed more of something that was pulled out of a junkyard. At the same time, it was just a lot of hot glue, just kind of a mess, junked up together just to make something happen. With the Boomophone, it's an idea that needs to be more unique. At the same time, it needs to be more aesthetically pleasing because we just used the box, we drilled holes in it and just kind of stuck it through. And there seems to be nothing that we can improve on it besides making it bigger and then kind of making it kind of balanced. Lastly, we have the light dependent synthesizer. It needs to have louder volume. And at the same time, there needs to be covers, maybe use, as we were thinking, a monster can for a cover with the synthesizer. And at the same time, there was a sense of ignorance in the constraints, but thankfully with a lot of research, we were able to find how to make sound with a certain amount of electronics, capacitors, resistors, and transistors.
So for our final choice, we decided to vote on which instrument to move forward with. However, it resulted in a tie between the synthesizer and Aeolian guitar. So we then discussed the pros and cons of each instrument, like how much time it would take to implement upgrades for each of them, which one is easier to innovate designs for, and yeah. So after this discussion, we decided to move forward with the light-dependent synthesizer because we realized that we can further innovate it compared to the other instrument.